This is Dennis Rodman, the weirdest player in NBA history. And this is Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea. In 2013, these two met for the first time and ended up becoming best friends. Kim Jong-un even let Dennis Rodman give a speech to thousands of North Koreans, and what he had to say was very strange. And later on in their friendship, Dennis Rodman brought Kim Jong-un one of the most unexpected gifts. Here's the story of how Dennis Rodman became best friends with Kim Jong-un and how this relationship could change the entire world. Chapter 1. The Invitation. It all started back in 2013 when Dennis received an invitation from Vice News to go to North Korea for a basketball game. But why was this event even planned in the first place? Flashback to 2000 when US Secretary of State Madeleine Albright visited North Korea, and she came with a secret intention to bring a special gift that would then lead to this deepened relationship between Rodman and Kim Jong-un. She brought a signed basketball by Michael Jordan and gave it to Kim Jong-il, the current North Korean supreme leader at the time, who secretly loved Chicago Bulls basketball. You all know firsthand, if your dad loves the team, you probably grew up watching that team too. So it only makes sense that Kim Jong-un was also a big Bulls fan. So this signed basketball led to a relationship that would last forever. Kim Jong-il passed away in 2011, making it time for his son Kim Jong-un to take over. And here is when the relationship between Rodman and North Korea officially begins. Vice News had the idea to use this connection of a basketball to plan a trip to North Korea to document their government. And since Jordan was a legend, they asked him to come along for the trip. Jordan respectfully declined, so it only makes sense to ask Dennis Rodman after the proposal. North Korea processed this and then agreed to host an exhibition match with Dennis Rodman and the Harlem Globetrotters. Before headed over to North Korea though, Rodman and his agent didn't realize what they got themselves into, as they didn't know there was a difference between North and South Korea. I just can't believe it. This is actually insane. So this makes the possibility of a relationship between Rodman and Kim Jong-un even more outlandish. Rodman was told it simply would be a game where he would go and play and then sign a bunch of autographs after. But soon he realized what he was getting himself into and he started to have doubts. But thankfully for the team, he decided to stay committed to the trip and Rodman went along for the ride. Chapter 2. The Visit. So Vice News arrives then in North Korea with the Harlem Globetrotters and Dennis Rodman, where they started their trip by hosting a basketball camp with the best North Korean basketball players under 18. Rodman was seen here coaching and encouraging the players, and he seemed like he was having a good time. But Rodman actually decided to opt out of playing in the exhibition match that was originally planned for the trip, which meant he had to sit in the stands for the game. So later in the visit, it was time for the official contest between the Harlem Globetrotters. But only 4 Globetrotters traveled, and with Rodman not playing, they had to divide the teams into the red team and the white team, making a mix of North Koreans and Americans. The gym was packed full of North Koreans, and right before the game began, everyone was greeted by a special guest. Out comes Kim Jong-un. As the crowd was erupting with noise, Kim Jong-un walks over to his seat and sits down, and guess who he sat right next to? The one and only Dennis Rodman. Throughout the entire game, the two were seen talking and having a good time, sharing their love of basketball. The game ended in a 110-110 tie, which I thought was personally interesting because for some reason they didn't allow overtime. Even though the game seemed a little weird, afterwards you could tell that a trusting relationship was formed because Rodman then proceeded to give a speech to the entire crowd that attended the game. Rodman explained how privileged he was to be in the country and said, quote, "You have a friend for life."
I'm sorry that my country and your country are not on good terms, but for me and the country, you have a friend for life. Sir, thank you. You have a friend for life.
감사합니다.
I don't know exactly what Rodman said or what he and Ung talked about before this, but Rodman found a way to become friends with the most unlikely person ever during an exhibition basketball game. Chapter 3. The Secret Birthday Party. But the Rodman North Korea saga doesn't end here. That night after the game, Vice, Rodman, and the Harlem Globetrotters were taken to a mysterious location where they were brought into a dining room with Kim Jong-un himself. They spent the night dancing and enjoying the presence of one another, and here the relationship between Ung and Rodman deepened even further. Not only did he sit courtside with Kim Jong-un, but he got his entire team a special dinner. They truly were best friends. After this trip, Rodman made a total of 4 more trips to North Korea, bringing some of his other NBA and basketball friends where Dennis would hang with his best new pal. One of these trips, he even got to sing Happy Birthday to Kim Jong-un.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Soon after, Rodman started to receive backlash for his relationship with this country from Americans. But Rodman actually became the only person in the world to become friends with both Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Chapter 4. The Gift. Before the travel ban in North Korea, Rodman made his alleged final visit in 2017 where he gifted Kim Jong-un a Donald Trump book. This, however, isn't 100% confirmed as some sources claim this final visit to be fake with little evidence to prove it. The only main evidence that we have were from this prior approved visits in 2013 and 14. Some sources even claim that in this so-called final visit in 2017, Dennis didn't even meet with Kim Jong-un since Rodman was severely intoxicated and was being constantly drunk while visiting the country. Rodman got loads more of negative comments from his actions in the country, and a lot of people said that he would do things that he would then later have to give emotional apologies after. But since then, we don't know for a fact if Rodman has been back to North Korea. However, in 2018, Trump became the first ever US president to hold a summit with North Korea, and Rodman was brought to tears as a result, saying how happy he was because of this. Overall, it's truly remarkable what the game of basketball can do to connect people. Yes, this relationship seems super random and unique, but there's one major takeaway that we can all agree on, and that is the fact that basketball has the power to unite people in ways we could never even possibly imagine. In this case, an unlikely friendship that could change the world, being a symbol of hope for how people can be united by sharing a simple common interest.